Welcome to the exciting 16th week of your pregnancy journey.
Pregnancy or two.
On our calendar, 4th month gestation. Or in the calendar, lunar. What different from our calendar, which has 4.5 weeks each month, the lunar calendar only has 4 weeks closed by the lunar calendar that we only have. Would you be in your 5th month of pregnancy? And I'm full of news to tell you about your body, about your baby. Spoiler alert, he's already making faces. I can. I'm currently out and about. I have a tip too. Food for you and some special tips for this one. Week won't be just one no because this week deserves more than. There's a lot of good stuff going on.
So if you want to know, stay with me.
That I'll tell you. Greetings and hello.
I'm Monica Romero and I'm extremely, incredibly happy.
In having you here with me, thank you for the privilege of you, me. Shall we ensure passing you the necessary information every single week? Of what? Does it happen to you, to your little baby? Thank you and congratulations on your 16th week of pregnancy. Did you realize that around this specific period, we tend to reevaluate our relationships with our parents and examine our connections with our children, if we already have children? And it starts to think about our role as mothers. From our father, what are the values and positive influences we gain that we had in our childhood that we want to pass on to our own little ones? What about influences that they frequently avoided causing us harm as well? But we also don't want to pass this construction. Values vary from family to family, and we will not get into the merits of right or wrong values. Are there values? What are they different? And what we pass it on to our son? Right at the beginning, experiences from early childhood can shape us throughout our entire lives. So it's only natural that you look at your mother differently and realize that he loves you so much more than you ever imagined. That you look at your father in one way, different, and understand. Occasionally I use that approach to educate myself. Educating was his way of showing love. Times have changed, we have learned more, we have studied more how to be a father and mother, and it's obvious. That will also reflect on it, education of our own. Children, do not judge them. From mistakes, learn. With the mistakes made, and ball forward, let's go. Raising your child the way you believe, and don't worry, we will still have a lot more about these chats outside. Still from pregnancy, week by week, there are other videos. Is this here? Channel on these? Influences that we have on our parents, the influences that we have from our in-laws too, from other families, and that adjust what we do on a daily basis to build. Our values are reflected in our family traditions. Although we are discussing about you, my beautiful girl who already has that one. Sparkle in the eye. That only pregnant women are good. Part of it by whose fault? From our friend. Blood flow that keeps increasing, which causes us to have a more constipated nose with super smell that leaves our sinuses. More sensitive. There's no way. They do get sensitive, but this one, weaken, especially the nipples, they become more sensitive. To be able, we deal with it a bit, like the bras we usually wear, especially those with rims. They cause one little more than discomfort. Gym top, not fabric. Synthetic, those of lycra cotton can help you because it will let your skin breathe and it will give you a firmness, which will help a lot. Reduce this breast sensitivity a little because it stays more still in place, it won't vibrate so much. And to talk about your uterus, concerned about your little belly, take a good look over here. That she grew up compared to, this is just the first day of your pregnancy. Take a look at this. Now, how does your uterus look? Which is expanding. So now it's starting to rise. It can be felt more or less 7 centimeters below your belly button. And we now measure the size of our belly. It doesn't matter, okay, about the size of your baby, or is everything okay? But uterine height, yes. What exactly is this distance there? What do you have? Navel and the doctor will measure with a tape measure uterine height. That's how I prepared this image for you too. If don't have spectacular, I'm sorry, it was done. Is it for me? But I wanted to explain. How is this measurement performed using the tape measure there? Boneda. Pelvis, it goes to the bottom of the uterus to the part. Up there, uterus to see how much it is growing. Understand your uterus and gain insights into your pregnancy. Sort of, all right? It's not a certainty, it's not a general rule. You may have 1 even, 3 killed. At that moment, if by chance you still feel very nauseous, food does not stop on. Stomach, drink. Not stopping in the stomach, you may be going through hyperemesis. Pregnant I am. I've talked about this in several videos, then I will. Linked here so as not to get too repetitive, but you can need medical help because of dehydration. In pregnancy, it can be complicated too. You and your baby, okay? On account, still from that increase, blood flow, another thing that can increase is your vaginal mucus. Can you understand that you're wetting your panties more? If you notice what you're having, smell, should it be itching or burning, you need to consult your doctor. That could be candidiasis, but increased mucus during pregnancy is normal to happen. And if you are going to spend a long period away from home, my tip is that you always have extra cotton panties in. Bag for you, switch in the middle. From the day to you, bring a little more comfort. Also because hot and humid region is where bacteria, they love each other, proliferate. And that is one of the reasons. Candidiasis attack, both pregnant women. One other thing I've mentioned before, previous weeks, but I'll go back to talking now a little bit better for you. It's about colostrum. Do you know what colostrum is? Oh, colostrum, also known as golden milk, is precious for us. The baby's very first vaccine, indeed. It's the milk you're starting to produce. That white mother's milk that we know, which is when the pojadura happens, which is when the milk goes down and the breast stays. Huge, this happens after the birth. Now, in pregnancy, your body is producing one. Milk is extremely nutrient dense. Leukocytes in it contain a high amount of antibodies. 11. An ideal vaccine, extremely nutritious for your baby, but in small quantities, especially because of his gastric capacity when he is born. It's quite tiny, even smaller than a cherry. Hence, he won't be able to suckle much to fill your stomach. Therefore, it is normal to have little. Quantity are you? Even if you don't realize it, at your prenatal appointments, the doctor will squeeze the nipple of your breast a little and see if colostrum is coming out. Don't do this at home. Keep stimulating. Why? Stimulate the beak from the chest. It can cause contractions, and that's not what we want at this point in pregnancy. Like I'm talking about vaccines to drink. And your vaccines, how are they? You've already had your first prenatal appointment, haven't you? And the tests you have already performed, have you taken to the doctor to take a look at how they are? Can he? Realize that you need to get some vaccines that you haven't taken yet, or can we? Being in the middle? I don't know. When are you watching this one? Video, but it may be in the middle of the flu vaccination campaign. For example, what is it? Applied free of charge to all pregnant women at SU stations. Therefore, if it is currently flu vaccination season, please proceed. Immunize, what is it? It is completely safe for your baby, okay? Don't forget, write it down in your calendar that it's important. Although talking about your little baby who already does, and it's extremely delicious, just take a look at that. Cute. This week, he's already measuring from head to butt. You remember, don't you? The measurement from head to butt does not consider legs. In that case, then, the measure between 10.8 and 11.6 centimeters, reaching this measurement more towards the end of this week and weighing approximately 80 grams. The size is approximate of an apple, but the weight is not. An apple is 1. Is it more important to be heavier than your baby? I'll also tell you that it's natural for there to be changes between your baby and the measurements I'm giving you here, okay? The measurements I'm giving you are the world average measurements. Genetic actors, or how you eat or how far you live, can influence, including in a second pregnancy. It's natural. Your baby is 10, a percentage higher than the previous one. So it is normal for changes to happen. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong, does it? But your baby is, say, developing at an incredibly fast pace. Is it possible for him to double his weight? And the size will drastically increase in just 2 weeks. And look at the evolution in your baby's features. The eyes are already well ahead. They should still get a little closer until the time of birth. It's about to be your definitive place, the muscles of yours. Little eyes are already starting to form so he can look. For all, both sides, the formation of the two began. Eyebrow hairs and also lovely eyelashes there. Delicious, very beautiful, right? And the strong muscles are yours now. Face, he is already beginning to have autonomy to power. Move him already? Can you manage to control it then? Is it? When he starts making those little baby faces that they're cute. And we hope to catch several faces. Linda's in the ultrasound. Yours? First toy, which is the umbilical cord. He's already started. Just kidding. Rest assured that even if he squeezes, he cannot interrupt it's flowing there, all right? So don't be concerned. Regarding that and his tiny heart, which now beats 160, 180 times per minute, it begins to function. Circulating 28, 4 liters of blood. An unbelievable day, right? His blood vessels are also now mature and are becoming increasingly well developed. What gives him a unique appearance now? Visual, if we could see ours. Baby boy. Is he with Como? If it were the reddest skin. And due to the vases, there are several blood vessels there. And that's why yours. Clear skin still. Do you show this coloring? His little red Your little legs now, they're more, far longer than his arms and bones, which is quite astonishing. They began calcifying much faster last week, and now they're even stronger, which increases the likelihood of you feeling your baby case. You don't sense still. If you don't, did you feel calm? Up to 20 weeks you will feel it. And one of the things that confuses the most is because we confuse the baby's movements with our own natural movements. Digestive belly or even gases. He's a little different, but it becomes more evident has your baby begun? Having less room to swim, to speak of space, he's already swimming at 250 mL. Amniotic fluid offers space, but it shrinks as he grows. And his room will too. As it becomes more restricted, it begins to push the uterine wall more, and this push that we begin to feel, people will not feel it yet. And as he gets stronger, with stronger muscles and harder bones, that's when he starts to make our stomachs move when we watch those movies, or from the belly. Moving is when the baby is already there for over 30 weeks of pregnancy in general, which have some that are faster and others that are lazy like everyone else, right? Your baby's inner ear is developing too. It is already more and more formed, and now he begins to hear sounds. Of course, he still cannot distinguish which. They are all the sounds that he is hearing, but he begins to hear, for example, the beating of his mother's heart, that toot-toot, toot-toot that we imitate when we go to bed making this one. Sound calms the baby. Why do you remember? Also the environment. Uterine. So he's already starting to hear. He's already starting hearing noises outside the womb, and from here to soon he'll begin absorbing. Scare when he hears a noise. High, for example. Sounded a horn on the street. You saw if the baby jumping, he starts to scare because he starts to hear various sounds too. External is a lot. Interesting. It hurts when you get scared, but it's a great sign of vitality when you... Are you feeling ours? Baby moves, so can you handle the anxiety? Even if you haven't felt it before, but you're starting to notice, a good time would be during late afternoon. Lie down on your belly, up. If you don't have diabetes, seasonal, eat a little chocolate, stay quiet, just wait. Like he already, is there a taste there? Of the amniotic fluid, and we're putting sugar into him. It gets more agitated, the chance of feeling is greater. And now tell me here, any comments on the tea? Revelation, are you going to do, or have you already done the account that I want to know, that I love to know about all the parties? From now on, it is possible to know the sex of the baby through ultrasound, the genital organ. The exterior is already fully formed, both the boy and the girl. Even a curiosity from the girls, now it has a hole. The vaginal canal is also already open, just like in this case. It's been 2 years already. It's already open, now it's truly a deep hole. Before, I was a little tight-lipped about the Revelation tea. I absolutely adore it. I think it's an incredibly delightful party and one of the initial ways to start celebrating. First characteristics you already know about your child, right? Make a party more intimate, or you can invite a lot. Not just people. Forget when. Go to the ultrasound warn, the doctor, to note in the envelope instead. To talk, or you won't have it. No surprise. But if you don't want a party, don't you want a Revelation tea? You can also ask for the envelope and open next to your partner at home in the most intimate moment of yourself that he ever. B, with you in, ultrasound examination, or then you can find out already and make that surprise. Along with, in my case, both times Flavio was with me at the ultrasound, and we asked to know there right away because of the owner's anxiety. Monica, people from heaven are one. Madness? I'm extremely anxious and eager to know everything as quickly as possible, which is why I'm asking you. Can you please reveal it to me? Do it, won't do it. Do it and tell me too. Do you know the sex of your baby yet? When did you schedule the ultrasound? If it is 4, now 16 weeks if it's with 18, or if you will, wait, or the second detailed morphological scan from the second quarter, that it happens thereby back from 21 weeks, Back to what I told you that the anus is now one hole in the babies. You already know him. You're already decluting the amniotic fluid, right? This amniotic fluid, he is no longer alone. Liquid. He's got some solids in there. For example, remember I told you that the little baby was beginning to produce langos, which are those little hairs that stay around there on your body. How's that? Photo that me? I'm leaving it for you to see. For newborns, they are already born with these little hairs like this. Like now, the formation of the little hair has started now. Of the eyelashes and eyebrows. These little hairs also come loose there in the amniotic fluid, and when's the baby gonna swallow that? It's no longer showing in his urine. Is it being accumulated? First faces of the baby named Mecco. Different from this shit we're in. Used to this place next to. Other than the meconium, it looks more like a grease. It doesn't smell much. He's pretty slimy up to 1. Little harder to clean. And he will be stimulated aside with the baby breastfeeding colostrum usually. On the first day of life, he will already start to expel that meconium. In some cases, it could happen that he starts this one, meconium period. Inside the belly, what can you do? Expedite labor to ensure the baby avoids any fetal distress.
What about mine?
Tip of, would you like some food? Is that your body now already? This newly adjusted metabolism means your digestion process is slower. So, avoid eating large portions and foods that can bring a little more slowness in digestion.
Such as, for instance,
Red meat is not that you should not eat anymore, but if you like red meat, try to reduce the portions you eat.
not to stay.
Long time management. Why can this cause reflux? Experiencing heartburn as well. How about food number 2? The cramps are just part of it. Showing up, then increase your potassium intake. Where do you find it? At Donna Banana.
And put the
Including bananas in the fruits you consume. Does it still reduce the desire to eat? Sugar, you know. There's one of those. Research indicates that the banana, decrease hours. Our despair leads to madness. For eating a candy, it's worth a try, right? It doesn't do much for me, but it's worth a try.
so the tip from
In the first week, there's a warning. Do you know why? It's because we fall in love with everything. What's to drink? The ensemble, the bib and the stroller, the crib, the doll and the ornament. The niche we fall in love with. All for what? Because it's really beautiful.
just a little attention, have one.
Extra care because
It's obvious.
what as? Businesses do this to motivate, even with consumption. But do you really need all of this? Let's ponder a bit with affection. To help you, I'll leave it here for you in the descriptive one, list of trousers. Mega, Lee, just stop. The first 3 months of the baby.
So that you can get an idea more or less of that.
You will absolutely require it at the time when you commence the use of all your garments. Baby, are you going?
See what you?
I like it better, for example, there's mom, which she loves. Use overalls with zipper, others prefer it to be. With button, others prefer that kimono that is easier to wear when newborn.
But it's just things that are,
Will people understand? Of our habits. With experience, that's why.
I do not recommend buying large quantities.
But are you going to make trousseau abroad? Things change and we have to believe a little more in ours. I'll leave instincts to you too, linked here in the descriptive A list for trousseau abroad. What is the difference between one and the other? It's just that she's going to take the trousseau outside.
Much more.
Months of the baby. To make it worthwhile, you make either the order or redirection or even your trip. Will you have items for more? Lifetime of the baby while the comprehensive list remains limited.
For you to break.
A branch now remembering? Is it still possible to locate the products? Whether it's brand new or previously owned. It doesn't even seem like it was used in these groups that we have. Sell sometimes. Coming from the school structure, condominium where friends reside. So
Inform me if you can locate numerous things.
good. Those first few months of the baby, he grows exceedingly quick, lose it quite rapidly.
And all of a sudden you'll find things.
Absolutely stunning ones that remained unused. Oh, our beauty is unmatched. She loves it because I'm the kind of person she likes. Economics, are you with me too? So my first tip is,
To be careful.
and these lists I prepared for you because usually the shops, they release lists of these very large, very extensive trousseau with all kinds of products can you possibly imagine? Naturally, there are some you will adore and want to use it. And it's excellent.
But there are others maybe you don't.
So much need? At least not now. In the beginning, it's better for us to feel it first. And I'll tell you, it's still words that you already have yours, baby or you. Buy some things because you already know exactly how you will look in it, you ever? Do you know what color you like to see? It's even nice to leave to buy a few things later. It's a different experience than buying when it's in the belly.
And the second one?
Hint is that from here, in the next few weeks, you may start experiencing Braxton Hicks, training contractions, preparing your uterus for delivery. These are painless contractions. In short, your belly will stiffen without causing pain. These contractions are irregular and widely spaced. Some pregnancies might not even register them, and it's perfectly normal without contractions. Braxton Hicks doesn't prevent a normal birth. It's unrelated. But why discuss them?
What if you have to drive?
It's time to pay special attention to this, okay? First, the belt. It's about car safety. Suitable for pregnant women. What does that mean? What if you position the belt correctly? It will pass here in the middle of the breast, adjust it to the corner of the belly, and another strap will be under the belly, not in front of it. It's perfect. Can you walk? Only that. When we're having these contractions, you can get a little distracted. So when? Have these little twitches. Are you leaving? Relaxing that you're not in labor so you don't miss your ability. While at the wheel, make sure to take more care and always wear your seatbelt. Is it significant for both you and your baby? If you like this video, don't forget it. Letting one go is too much for me. Important, what about me? I love it when you send your what about yours? Comment you know that I'm always watching, leaving a little heart for you. Isn't that right? Congratulations. The 16th week gestation. See you in the next video. Don't forget my content.